Hey, hey! Come on in the house. Because here I is. Live. Tuesday, 5 o'clock. Nathan Trusty, old trusty Nathan Trusty is already inside. How's it going, my man? There's Marvin. Hey, man, I'll be mailing your reel-to-reel tomorrow. There's Andy. A few more of you. Hey, Tom. Watching from Louisiana, where I bet it's just as hot and humid down there as it is up here. Hey, Derek. Christian. Yeah, and that Bowie shirt cool, man. Those are popping up on Facebook. I got the Bowie and the Kiss. Oh, there he is, Adina Sod live. All right. Adam, Stefan. Stefan, where are you from? Germany? Christian. It's going good, man. I guess it's going good. Yeah, there's a good bit of you in here. I'll go ahead and get rolling. Well, I got some things to tell you. Some news, some breaking news. If you got any questions, though, like I'm going to ask you at the end, just remember, don't ask me things that, I'm going to do a whole show on. Don't ask Gigi questions. I've already done 2 Gigi shows. I've probably got about 2 more in me before all my information. Hey, it's the Throg in here with us live. So, Mondo, what do you mean the greatest minds? I know this is one of them right here. Dave Snyder. All right. Well, as a bunch of you know, because you probably got them either Saturday or today, the first batch of Jerry A's went out Friday. So, Stephen, you're in New Zealand. Well, good to have you, man. There it is, right there. The second group went out yesterday, Monday. Now I've had a little tiny bit of a slump, but it'll pick up during the week, especially whenever everyone starts posting theirs and giving their reviews. I'm real anxious to hear what y'all have to say about it. I'm real proud of it. BA, got yours today too. Okay, cool. Yeah, John, I'll be mailing you one here real soon. Speaking of John Bowman just got through mixing something the other day. We have completed our side of the ANTiSEEN Before I Hang split. And I got to tell you, man, we are really, really proud of it. And we can't wait for you guys to hear it. I know from the time we get done to when these things actually see the light of day, could be a big, long stretch of time. But I'm talking with John Littlejohn now from Before I Hang. And we're getting everything square, ironed out. And all that's left was mastering and finishing the artwork for the cover. The artwork so far is fantastic. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Got a lot of stuff lately, man. Mouse Ramon from down in Texas sent me this. I can't hold this up too long because some of y'all will report me Facebook cops, and I'll get kicked out of here. But GG Texas Nazis original flyer shirt. Thanks, man. Really nice surprise to see that. I really appreciate it. And the guy that I have dubbed the executive producer of the show, because he sent me this nice stand that my phone is on now and it's not bouncing all over the place. He also sent me a contraption that I will be able to hook up a microphone and talk to you guys, you know, and I can, you know, be back here and everything, and I don't have to make sure you can hear me. I'll have a nice strong signal going through, especially when I have people with me. You know, we can hold the mic back and forth, hopefully, and not get too much noise. But you'll be able to hear better. And that is Brad Mullins. Thank you, Brad, for all the stuff you've done for Break On Through. Sounds good today. Savage Master ANTiSEEN Tour 2021. I'm all about it, Hoss. Love Savage Master. Well, I wish I could say, damn, y'all, everything seems great in the world today. Not quite that way, but I hope that when you come here and we talk about other stuff for a little while, it takes your mind off some of that stuff, because some of it stresses me the fuck out. All I can say to you out there is be prepared for anything. And I think you know what I mean. Last week, I talked about Michael Bruce and his involvement with ANTiSEEN, and I mentioned something leading up to that. I mentioned us being in Myrtle Beach playing this club, and I was served court papers for an assault charge. I'm sticking around in the Here to Ruin Your Groove era. I'm going to stick there for a while, because I'm sure I've mentioned it, and but I just want you guys to remember, Here to Ruin Your Groove is going to be the next past release. It's going to get the revamped a TKO treatment, the remastering, pressed on 180 gram vinyl. I think this one's going to be a 2 record set. It's going to have the original Ruin Your Groove. It's going to have a side of singles that came out around the same time, and a fourth side, a professionally recorded live recording of us from Lawrence, Kansas, at the infamous and world famous Out House. Oh yeah. But anyway, it was the day before my birthday, and we're in Myrtle Beach setting up ready to play, and we just got there. The guy comes up, "Are you Jeff Clayton?" "Yeah, I am." "See you in court. I'm being sued on some kind of assault charge." Well, to tell you how this all got started, I have to go back a little more. Frida Kahlo. Greetings from the pits. Hey, you know we love the pit. You know old JC loves the pits. But okay, this was one of Tripp's first few shows with us. And we played at a club in Myrtle Beach called the After Deck, which, if I'm not mistaken, was hooked onto a strip club. I could be wrong about that. No, I don't think I am. But it was a very odd setup. You know, you walk in, you go to the left over there, and sorry, y'all. I'm tired. Step down some steps, and you're in the area where you watch a band. And the floor is those stainless steel sheets. There's no roof there. There's no roof over the dance floor. It's open. And at least that's the way I remember it. I know they didn't have any thing on the sidewalls. It was raining like a son of a bitch that night. And man, the rain was just coming in. Yeah, the only place you not get wet is on stage, the side where you watch the bands. One side, the other side you get soaked. The one side you would not, and the dressing rooms. So if you wanted to see the band, you had to stand down. You know, in the traditional way you see a band, you have to stand down there and get wet. Or you could stand all the way around the damn club and be, you know, 50, 60 feet away from us and watch like that. But I don't remember who opened for us. It was either Bazooka Joe or a band that some of the members later morphed into called Thunder Pussy. I'm thinking it was Thunder Pussy. I know Daryl Derelict was there. He was at this show. Well, it came part in the program where I used to take 2 beer bottles and shake them up really hard, you know, hold the thumbs over the nozzles, let the beer swirl over everywhere, then turn them upside down, smash them over the top of my head. And whatever was left, I would then jab into here. See the remnants of all that, you know, 37 years of doing all that. That's what that looks like. Well, everything went as normal, you know. There was hardly anyone near the front of the stage because of what I explained about this rain and nonsense. And typical show other than that, all right? So then, fast forward back to when I get served the paper. I have no idea what this is about. Then they say it was the After Deck. And there's one thing I have to tell you. My cousin at the time was married to a detective in Myrtle Beach. He was pretty well known, you know. Man, we'd go down there. Myrtle Beach, people can complain about being harassed by cops and stuff. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, Myrtle Beach is the worst case of that I have ever seen. I mean, you can't do anything there without them rolling up on you and this, that, and the other, you know. But man, I had that ace in my pocket. One night in Myrtle Beach, we were supposed to play this place called, you know what? I don't remember it. We had a line of people going around the damn club waiting to get in, and they all of a sudden decided, unlike the time before we played there, played 2 nights, we're coming back, and they said, oh, it's not all ages. So that's 2/3 of the audience that's waiting to get in. So we just said, well, you know what, then we're not going to play. And so we're just like, well, what are we going to do? And, you know, when everyone there says, hey, we know another club you guys could probably go play at. So we go, we check with the club. And, man, you know, all the people that were waiting to get in, man, they followed. They followed our little bus we had. And we descended upon this club, and they're just like, man, we can't hold this many people. You know? And so there goes that. So and then it's like, okay, what's next? Then we go to a person's house where we're going to play there. And, man, there's a lot of people at this house. And, man, I don't even think we got our gear out. I think we set up the merchandise and sold a hell of a lot of merchandise. But I think the cops shut that down. But a small detail I'm failing to bring up in between all these little stops. At every single stop, Myrtle Beach police pulled us over. Every one of them. Well, as soon as we get out of the bus, you know, and we're all sitting there talking, you know, then it's, you know, I'm going to search this bus. And I said, well, before you do that, would you do me a favor and call my cousin, Detective, people's names I'm leaving out of this, you know. I told y'all I would do that. Oh, Detective so-and-so is your cousin? Then the scene completely changes. We are people not to be inconvenienced. And man, I pulled that ace card. I mean, we got stopped. We got stopped going from the club we originally were booked at to the second club. We got stopped in between there. We got stopped. When we got to the house, they pulled us over. They said the show wasn't going to happen there. So, all right, whatever. As we're driving around, and this is off season in Myrtle Beach too. It wasn't like, you know, the place was packed with tourists. And, you know, we're riding around. So we get stopped again. We're just trying to find a hotel because we're going to Charleston the next day. And, or Savannah. I can't remember which. But, we get stopped again. It's just like 4 times. And each time, before you do that, you may want to call my cousin, Detective. Scene changes. So, fast forward again to me getting that damn summons. Well, man, I was stressed the fuck out. For months. I've never been sued. What are they going to get? So my cousin, by marriage, hooked me up with a lawyer down there in Myrtle Beach. Said he wouldn't charge me anything. Well, I'm, of course, grateful. And, so man, after months of just stressing out about this, I mean, it's eating my guts out. I probably stayed sick for quite a while worrying about this shit. And, it comes the day for the deposition. I got to ride down to Myrtle Beach. I mean, I got to be there early. So I had to leave, you know, it was before daylight. And my buddy Eddie Ford lead singer of Self-Made Monsters. He rode down there with me, just so, have some conversation down there and back. I could stay awake. So we get down there, and here's the scene, man. We go to this little law office. It's a neutral thing. The kid is pressing charges. Shows up with his lawyer. I show up with my lawyer. And the club, the After Deck, shows up with their lawyer. And there's someone there mediating this whole thing. So we're all sitting in there at the same time. I'm at the end of the table. The kid's at one side. The club's at another. Mediator's like at the other end of me. Well, man, I see this kid. I'd never seen him before in my life. But I walk in and I see him, and man, he's got like, some stuff that had happened. I could tell, and I'm just like, oh shit. I hope he ain't trying to say that that's what I did to him. So we get into it. We start talking. The club's attorney asked him, says, man, I can't remember the kid's name. I wouldn't say it even if I did. But he goes, have you ever seen Mr. Clayton perform in a nightclub before the night at the After Deck? He's like, yeah, I've seen him about 2 or 3 times. And he said, would you name the places you saw him? He said, oh yeah, the Magic Bus. I think a place called the Upper Deck or something like that. He names a couple. Yeah, we played those. And he says, so at these other performances, did Mr. Clayton do the part of his act where he breaks the beer bottles? Kid goes, yeah, he did it every time. Okay. So when it happened at the After Deck, you were not shocked or surprised. I mean, you kind of expected it was going to happen, correct? Yeah. And man, I haven't said anything. I haven't said a word till they give us a map of the After Deck, and they say, Mr. Clayton, would you please put an X where you were in this club when you broke the bottles? I'm looking at it. Center stage is where you find me, son. Center stage. That's where I drew it. They asked the kid to draw where he was. Now let's say this is the piece of paper. My X is right here. His X was like over here somewhere. The lawyer says, so, okay, what you mean to tell me is that Mr. Clayton broke these beer bottles here and approximately, I don't know, 60 feet away, a piece of glass hit you, cut you, and knocked you off your feet? Piece of glass, 60 feet. If I'd have thrown a whole bottle at him and hit him with the fucking end of it, I could see him dropping even at 60 feet. But a piece of glass? Guess what the kid says? At his own deposition. Well, I don't know, because I had been drinking. It might not have, I might have just fell on my own. He was underage. Dumbass! You know what my lawyer did? Opened up his briefcase, took all of our papers, put them back in his briefcase, shut it, clicked it closed, and I see the kid's lawyer going, he's losing it. My lawyer says, let's get out of here. Months and months of worrying myself sick. And I sat across the damn table from a dumbass. How about that one? That was a good one, wasn't it? If you were to purchase our book about our first 20 years as a band, you'll find a letter in there. I think, I don't remember if it's the letter I got served or the letter my lawyer wrote, but it's in there. There's a lot of funny stuff in that book. Yeah, I saw one thing. Yeah, I probably could have countersued, but man, I ain't got time for all that. Plus, you know old JC, he don't win nothing. But the thing was, man, I had people from Myrtle Beach sending me pictures that they took. I had them with me. My lawyer had those. He's just like, here's a scene of the whole damn thing. We didn't even have to use them. This kid shit all over his own case. Oh. So, what are you going to do? So see, I told you I was going to tell you that story because I brought that up with the, during the Michael Bruce thing. There's another thing, I was going to kayfabe this, but this really kind of has puzzled me for years. We got Michael Bruce from Alice Cooper. Ride with me in my car to Clover, South Carolina, to record in Jamie Hoover's basement. None of the band showed up. Just me. Now, they were happy to have Michael Bruce on the thing, you know, about bragging rights, all this stuff, but they didn't show up to the thing. I don't understand them guys sometimes. I don't understand the guys now sometimes. I'm sure they don't understand me ever. But I always thought that was very odd. Water under the bridge, though, I reckon. So I'm going to stick around in the... I'm not going to stick in that area until, you know, the Groove reissue comes out. But, you know, I'll stick around in there for a little bit. Yeah, it's a pretty short story. Sorry I don't have another one lined up in the chute ready to go. But, yeah, well, think of something about ruin. I tell you what, think about questions about ruin your groove. that you want to ask me, and ask me right now. Let's talk about Here to Ruin Your Groove a little bit. Maybe something you want to know what it's about or what it really means. Will I tell you what it really means? Or will I leave you guessing? I'm the unimpeachable president for life. I can do whatever I want. I will not be impeached. Not here on Here to Ruin Your Groove. Not here on Break On Through. No. You see that guy Adam Wolf there in the comments? That's the Dean of Sods. He served a very, very big, important part on Here to Ruin Your Groove. A lot of that stuff was off the cuff, wasn't it? Now, one day I'm going to have the Dean of Sods in here with me. I hope soon. Hell, I hope next Tuesday. But you got to tell me something. Dean of Sods. Brian Dunlap, my favorite ANTiSEEN. Thank you, mine too. Let me go back a little bit. Now the questions are starting to get out of my control here. Let's see. One of the best album titles ever. Yeah, and guess what? That album title came from Dean of Sods. Man, one thing I can tell you about when me and the Dean are together, it's always very inspirational to me, man. We just, sometimes we can talk for 2 hours and the last 5 or 6 minutes will be something solid gold that you just gotta hang on to. Sometimes it's solid gold nuggets the entire time. Let me see. Now the questions are getting away from me again. Okay. Why did we decide to redo Fornication to Fuck All Y'all, and why was it originally Secret Tracks? Man, I guess because we were so happy with working with Jamie at this point, and we wanted those songs to get the same sonic treatment that the rest of Ruin Your Groove was getting. And we were just going to do it as a single, and just, see, with the record, with the reissue of the record, it came out as a single. On the CD, they weren't listed. Because we figured, well, you know, you don't really, you're not excited about another Fuck All Y'all, you know, or whatever, but we just liked the way that lineup of the band was playing those at the time. And how was it working with Jamie? Man, Jamie Hoover was a delight to work with. Sometimes he'd say stuff like, oh, well, with those words or with that sound, you're not going to get airplay. And we always just kind of went, you know, in our head, airplay is the furthest thing from our minds, you know. But other than that, it was always, always, always fun. And I don't like recording. I like sequencing. And I like putting in the little added stuff that maybe sometimes most people don't realize or don't hear. I love doing all that. I don't like the recording process. I never feel like I captured the performance that I want, but I also don't kid myself and think that it's going to be better on time number 79 than it was on time number 2. So the story behind People Like You has always been one of my big favorite of mine. Brandon was big help on the live broadcast. Let's all give a big hand to Brandon. You all know Brandon. Brandon travels with us, been traveling for the last few years. People Like You was aimed directly at a group of people that I was hanging around at the time, that where you feel like these people are supposed to be your friends, but it feels like everything they do has a motive. And that motive is to like kind of wreck things for you from within. You know, get into the group of people, mess up the group of people by turning them on each other and stuff like that. That was the kind of people I had in my circle back then. I'm happy to say they have not been in my circle since then. And I am finally rid of them. And there is nothing that would make me allow them into my life again. I've never been that lonely or that bored. Dollar General mouthwash, here to ruin your groove. Okay, what the fuck ever, Nathan. Let's see. Mark, first ANTiSEEN album I ever heard. I always liked this mysterious Dean of Sods. You know what that, a lot of that comes from is like, kind of like having a radio announcer. You know, I mean, you know, like that, the Who album, Sell Out. They had all the stuff in between, you know, with the radio broadcasters talking, the commercials, and you know, Frank Zappa used to have recorded conversations with band members and stuff. Just something to break up. I always liked doing that stuff. I remember Joe wasn't too fond of it, but Joe didn't like anything too far off the tried and true path, you know. But I like that stuff. We tried to not do it on Boys from Brutalsville. We just ended up having samples and stuff, and I wasn't as happy with that. I always liked having the Dean of Sods on records or Cosmo. On Bad Will and Bastards, we had them both. That might have been overkill. I don't know, but yeah, as long as I got source material from the Dean, he'll always have some kind of spot on these records. Let's see, got any more? Let's see what we got. JC and KD, one letter apart, yeah. Rage, are we re-recording? No, we're not going to re-record here, Ruin Your Groove, but it's gonna be reissued, remastered, pressed on a heavier grade vinyl, bonus tracks. You know, come with stickers, posters, all that kind of shit. It's gonna be an impressive thing, man. I can't wait till we start working on it. Now, see, that's a process in making records that I do like. Compiling all this stuff, deciding what makes it, what don't. Editing I like. See, a lot of what that is me and Mark Rainey from TKO going back and forth, you know. And sometimes I come up with ideas that get vetoed, you know, because they're just not cost efficient. Like we'd have to sell the record for $75 or something, but I try to keep them affordable, but still be something really special to make you want to buy a title you've already got, you know, somewhere in some format. But let's see what else we got here. Video shit re-release. Man, you know what? You would be the second person, I think, in the last 6 months that has brought that up. Putting out all that album stuff out on video or DVD, putting it on DVD now, might not be a bad idea. Might not be a bad idea. Jerry Walker, the audio from the live stream was fantastic. Oh, you think we ain't already thought about that? Ooh. What would y'all like, man? Would you like to have an LP of that, or would you rather have a DVD? Was anyone interested in owning that as a DVD? I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, we have a hard time moving DVDs. We don't sell them that well. Like we get them, and then there's at first a little rush, and then nothing. I got that one for sale now of the Eat More Possum lineup. What's the story behind "Kill the Business" song? Well, when Joe worked at record bar, he was around a lot of industry types. And man, we always had people telling us what to do, what not to do, for us to make it in the industry. We were way more interested in doing things the way we saw fit to do them than we were following the pattern, the formula. I mean, all I can say is about us is, here I am 37 years later talking to you about stuff that my band that's still performing is going to do versus just talking to you from a simply historical sense of what we used to do. Does that make any sense? I hope so, because it kind of confused me a little bit. Let's see. I have a question. What was your favorite improvisation that ever happened? Man, I can tell you that right now. It's when we were touring in Europe for the Eat More Possum album. And I may have told you guys, maybe on the very first thing I did where I asked people to guess which were the bands that we played with and which were the ones that we didn't. And I put Dirt on there. Dirt, the English band that was, that were members of Crass and all, which seemed very unlikely to tour with ANTiSEEN. We thought so, and they thought so as well, but it ended up being a really, really good thing. One night we're playing somewhere in Poland. Huge place. And this was one of the nights where we opened the show. We were first band on. It was us, Hell Crusher, and Dirt. And we would, each night, like the first night, Hell Crusher played first, Dirt played second, and we closed the show. Then, that kind of thing. Well, this was our night to open the show. We're somewhere in Poland. This place is huge. It's like a theater, like an old theater. And it's packed. Man, there must have been 700 or 800 people there. I said, seriously, it was a lot. And we're playing, and we're midway through our set, and man, the power goes out. But it was daylight, you could still see. I mean, it wasn't like the lights went out, but the whole sound system just went down and out, nothing. Well, we had two choices. We could have just stopped, walked off stage, and waited for them to figure it out, which would have been boring for everybody. But instead, I told Greg, who was playing at the time, I said, keep going. So he just keeps playing, drums, acoustic, you can hear them. So he's playing, and I get the washboard out. And so we're doing a washboard and drum thing, I'll do a little, Greg would do a little lick, and then I'd copy his lick on the scrub, and, and then before long we were, doing back and forth, till we started sounding like a train, And man, the crowd was loving it. And then, at some point, I just threw the washboard down and done like that at Greg, and he picked up his floor tom and threw it to me, overhanded, like this, and I caught it, And I put it right in the middle of the stage. And I grabbed a couple of his broken sticks and all, and I'm sitting there beating on it. And then he starts beating along with what I'm doing. Man, this crowd is loving it. And then we heard the power come back on. So, the boys are, getting ready to play. And I ran that drum back to Greg. And we got back out. We got right back into it. Bam, 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 bam. Like we didn't even lose a step. And we came off stage, and the little girl singer, little girl, I don't, what I mean, the girl, sings for Dirt, just came up and says, Gary was so envious of how you guys handled that. And we passed Gary from Dirt, and he just looks at me, he's like, thanks. So yeah, they both had to put it in high gear that night. We had the crowd in our hand. You remember that, don't you, Greg? I see Greg just showed up. Let's see if there's any more questions. Man, it just sounds like y'all are just making, will it be on CD? I assume you're talking about Ruin Your Groove. You know what? That's something we would have to talk to. That's something we'd have to talk to John Bridges at Mystery School about. Plans are underway for Mystery School to put out the CD version of Gigi and ANTiSEEN Murder Junkies. So, any of you guys that wanted it on CD, and your dream may be coming true very soon. Let's see what else we got, y'all. DVD, absolutely, huh, Pat? Okay. DVD, only time it happened, that's true. COVID jams. We were going to call it Live from Quarantine. Let's see. 70 DVD, call it the COVID concert. I sure would love to see an ANTiSEEN Hell Crusher. Well, you could have seen a few of them. If you'd have been over there at that time. I guess that was 93. 93 or 94. Story behind Little Sister. That's a good question. Barry and I actually talked about this the other day. Not about this song in particular, but we talked about, like, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know what I want to write songs about anymore, because I mean, I feel like we've hit every subject matter over and over and over again. That's why I have not been really writing any lyrics for quite some time. Malcolm's coming out with a lot, and the thing is, though, these guys got to write from my perspective, and I know that sounds fucked up, but I don't, there's just certain subject matter I don't do, and I'm not convincing at it, and I feel like an idiot doing it, and I'm not going to do it. And like, say you come into the band and you got, this kind of subject matter, and I'm supposed to sing it, I ain't going to do it. If you want those songs out, you have to get you a solo project. But I just what I said to Barry was, I said, man, I think our writing process used to be that we wrote 1 minute, 30-second to 2 minute movies. Make any sense? Think of some of those songs, man. Like now a bunch had stuff to do with real life, but sometimes we would just put ourselves in a completely different mindset. It was like we were playing a character in a movie. And you had to make this thing, you had to have a beginning, a middle, and then a climax. You know, it had to have, you know, bam, something had to happen. And you try to make that happen in 1 minute and 30 seconds. And I don't know, man. I'm thinking about going back to that kind of writing because, I mean, what are you going to write about that we haven't already? And some of the stuff we wrote about before, you can't write about now because you'll get canceled. Anyway, I mean, what's the point about even writing about all that horse shit? We all know it's horse shit. It's horse shit. And I don't like giving my enemies any spotlight, any advertisement. You know what I mean? But the story behind Little Sister, it was about, it was an incestual story, and, you know, the brother gets the sister pregnant, then whenever they realize what's going on, the brother tries his hand at a do-it-yourself at-home abortion. Pretty shitty story, huh? Yeah. Is there any live footage, otherwise video footage from Japan? Man, all those shows were videotaped in Japan, but most of them, the third one may not be in this category, but it was a camera up in the ceiling that didn't move. It may sound good, but you know how it is, man, when you got a stationary camera that just stays in one spot, and you know, lights wash out everything, and it's just not very exciting. You know, you gotta, with us, you gotta kind of be up on it. Andy, you know, you've videotaped us as much as anybody. Please come back to Pittsburgh. Brian, we'd love to come back to Pittsburgh. It'll be kind of odd without seeing old Joel, but yeah. Did ANTiSEEN ever play with the Candy Snatchers? Yes, a couple times. In Los Angeles, in Wilmington, North Carolina, and but I believe that's it. But we've crossed paths quite a bit, you know, like, I've talked to Larry before, you know, like, away from touring, you know, I've seen him at things, and, yeah, I mean, we should have done more shows together, I think it would have been a good pairing, don't you? Yeah, Rick. The things you need to say, you can't say. And you know, the thing about it is, when you got to consider everybody. You got to consider the guy putting up the money to put it out. You got to consider your bandmates, you know, and everything, because the sides are picked. Do a Bowie cover, huh? I could learn to sleep at night as a rock and roll star. Was Billy the Kid the only historically influenced song you ever wrote? Actually, I didn't write that. Joe Young wrote that. Joe Young wrote that song. And I don't know. I guess I would have to sit and think about it. But I think maybe that was the only historically influenced song we ever did. Let's see what else we got up in here. New song, Horse Shit. Yeah, that we could do that for sure. William Troy. We did an album a few years back entitled Hell, which is nothing but songs we liked by artists we liked. And it was a very, very diverse group of artists. And that album will see the light of day again soon. And Stefan, you're saying we should do Hell too, but you know, the sequel to Hell had been talked about. I don't know. John Bowman was about 15 years ago now? 10 years ago? I don't know. But we're going to call it Heaven. That may still see the light of day. You never can tell. Have I ever met Terry Funk? Met Terry Funk many times. Terry Funk's a very cool guy, man. I really enjoy talking to him. What I think about the Abdullah Hep C thing, it's an unfortunate situation. I mean, I'm not going to be boycotting Abdullah the Butcher or nothing, but, you know, shitty how that worked out. We are waiting for the return of ANTiSEEN to Detroit. Covered Jim Carroll. Now, see, that's something that could happen right there. Now, I love that Catholic Boy album. Yes, sir. Are you a fan of Cancer Slug? Man, I've only heard the name. I don't know anything about them. Let's see. Man, Hall & Oates cover. See, the thing about it is, we talked about doing a Tom Jones cover one time, and the rest of the band thought it would come out sounding hokey and like we're making fun, but I assured them it will not. I might even bring this back up again because I want to do that. We were going to do She's a Lady. And I'm telling you, we can do this song and it won't be I hate when bands do joke covers. I hate it. But like, oh, look at it. Oh, we're so cute. Oh, we're doing Journey. You know, what the fuck ever. I ain't never done a cover by something I don't like. Heaven was talked around 2008. So, yeah, it's been a while. Let's see what else we got here. We met Takata at the match we played on the last night we were there. He was cool, man. The whole match was cool. Eric, man, you would have loved that shit. It was my 55th birthday. Our last night in Japan. We closed out the whole damn show, man. It was a blast, man. We talked to Tesco about touring again. Tesco's not going to be doing any touring. But I have been in talks with Tesco about some other things. I can't say anything about that now because it hasn't been confirmed enough. But man, listen, we got ideas going all the time. All the time there's something, man. There's like, we got about 6 or 7 things cooking right now, and then there's, because see, sometimes I feel like I play in 2 ANTiSEENs, and I do, really. I play in the ANTiSEEN that is writing and recording and putting out stuff, new stuff, right? You know, with Barry, Russ, and Malcolm. And then I'm in charge of putting out the stuff from the old ANTiSEEN, the reissues. So there's always something's cooking. There's always something cooking up here in the reissue pile. There's always stuff cooking up in the new. Man, we got like 3 or 4 things in the new stuff, projects that we want to do that, I don't know. I guess we're going to start rolling on them. But I got to tell you, we were so proud of that live broadcast. And man, I'm glad all you guys had a good time. Share it some more. Get some more people to watch it. I think we're 16,000 views. Let's get to 20. Oh yeah. Well, y'all, I guess I'm going to get on. I've been on here a little bit, and I reckon I had something, man. I had something planned I wanted to do for you guys today, but the thing I needed to do this plan with didn't show up until after I left work. And so I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it on today's Break On Through. I don't know if that requires an emergency auxiliary break on through between now and Tuesday. But I don't know. I see my man Bill said they had a party for the live broadcast. Man, some people were sending pictures of them setting up their TVs in their garage and stuff like that. There's my wife there. Hey, baby. And man, it was a real treat for us to see how you guys were all getting into it and enjoying it. Man, if you have any pictures and stuff, man, be sure to send them. You know, we will repost them on our pages. And there is also Destructo Central. If you guys haven't joined Destructo Central, go do that. It's an ANTiSEEN fan page ran by our main Mondo, the lead singer of Taped Fist. So go there. Hey, have any of you guys seen the video for the promo video for the Jerry A single? My stepson did that for TKO. It's on the ANTiSEEN page now. Go check that out. It's kind of funny. But, hell, another Tuesday come and gone. So I guess from the unimpeachable President for Life, I say, all of you take care. Be safe. And always remember to break on through to the other side.